Welcome everyone to the Coinbox Pipe analysis video. Thank you so much for joining me. I just want to start off with some major announcements at the start of this video, and that is that I recently opened up a Discord server. Link will be in the description below. It already has over 100 members, and the discussions are very welcoming, very engaging, no matter what kind of player you are. If you're highly analytical and competitive minded, or if you're just a casual player looking to enhance your experience and perhaps pick up a few nuances with the game, it's a great place no matter what kind of player you are. And I'm so excited to have shared already so many wonderful moments with all of you out there. I had the initial tour reaction on the Discord live where I went through the value of the items and I got to answer your questions directly, which was a lot of fun. And then we had some multiplayer with those of you on the friend list, and it was a nice, relaxing, fun. We had a few laughs, right? And it was very engaging. And what I would like to share here is that all of your support in the community has been marvelous. You're all amazing. I cannot thank you enough what you have done for this channel and the ideas that are presented here. It is a goal of mine still to see this channel through to the YouTube partnership, to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. And then those moments that I'm able to share in a more engaging way with the Discord audience, I can bring that right here to YouTube. So if you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed, it would be greatly appreciated if you would go ahead and click the subscribe button to this channel, because not only does that show the value for the work and the ideas presented in these series of videos, but also it increases the potential of this channel in bringing more engaging and robust content in the future. So thank you all once again. Upwards and onwards with the Coinbox Pipe analysis. So this isn't the first time that Mario Kart Tour has introduced a Coinbox Pipe. All the way back in the Mario vs. Luigi Tour, the first rally tour that we had in the year 2020, there was a Coinbox Pipe with similar odds. We had 3 high-end drivers in that pipe. Now, the selection of Coinbox drivers in this one is significantly different, and it's composed primarily of gold drivers, but there is Kamek thrown into the mix. So we have access to gold Koopa free running, gold Dry Bones, King Boo Gold, King Bob-omb Gold, and Kamek. Those are the 5 options that are available. In the chart on the right shows the value that they have in terms of track coverage. Kamek and King Bob-omb Gold have the most number of tracks, which is 25. But when it comes down to the assumed value, which are the retro tracks that are not city-based, which would be your New Yorks, Tokyos, etc., or some of the nitro courses, the unique courses to Mario Kart Tour, which aren't filtered through the regular rotation, such as Ninja Hideaway and the current Merry Mountain that is available in the Holiday Tour. So subtracting those nitro courses from the value, we can actually see that Gold Dry Bones has the most amount of assumed track count with 21. And of course we have King Bob-omb Gold and Kamek following close behind with 19 and 18 respectively. And then at the end of the pack we have Gold Koopa free running, as well as King Boo Gold. Now, one thing that I've done with these charts, and I really hope that this helps present an idea and that it's easy to see, and that is the size of the Coinbox driver, the hitbox that they have. Drivers can come in 3 weight classes. There's heavyweights, middleweights, and lightweights. Now, for most drivers, there's no difference in the stats of these drivers. It's strictly the size of the driver. And in typical Mario Kart experiences, that will adjust the value of the acceleration or the speed that each driver can have, but that doesn't exist in Mario Kart Tour. But what does exist is that larger hitbox offering ample opportunity to collect more of the track coins that are available, right? Or collecting a coin and a jump boost in the same frame. So naturally, you want to have a larger hitbox in single player mode when you're playing for maximum combo, maximum action count, and scoring potential. The larger hitbox will do you well there. It's an opposite mindset when it comes to multiplayer. You want the smallest hitbox because you don't want to be giving a larger frame for your opponents to target you with. However, Coinbox is largely irrelevant in multiplayer. You want to use a more competitive skill such as Heart, Triple Mushroom, Triple Banana, and the like. The weight classes for these drivers are as follows. We have King Bob-omb Gold and King Boo Gold, who are the heavyweights. So these will never be purely counterfeit in terms of the scoring potential that they can offer your account because they have the largest size hitbox. So anytime that you would have overlap, you would always want to go with the maximum hitbox size possible, considering that both drivers would be at the same level as well as base points, which would factor into the scoring output of your run. And then for the middleweight, we have Kamek. So he is the one middleweight in this pipe. And for the lightweights, we have Gold Koopa free running as well as Gold Dry Bones. Now you may be wondering, if you're not sure, what is the difference logistically in terms of what your output could be between a heavyweight versus a middleweight or a lightweight. Well, the difference between a heavyweight and a middleweight and a lightweight are a little bit closer, right? It's not a significant difference. It's just a few coins going from one weight class to the next. But let's say if we're comparing the difference between Gold Dry Bones and King Bob-omb Gold, which we'll see they have pretty extensive overlap when I get to that frame shortly. But the difference in collecting coins from a single coin box, mind you, can be a dozen or more coins, depending upon the section of the track and how it's released, because those coins will spit out according to the physics of what kind of a tilt or an angle you're at and how wide the pathway is that you're racing on. And as such, it could be that large of a difference. Granted, factoring in the action points as well as the bonus points from the level that your drivers are at, that could be over 1,000 points for a single coin box of difference. So when comparing the difference between a lightweight and a heavyweight is very significant. Now, when we're taking into account the middleweight and Kamek, the difference is a little bit more negligible, but it is still noticeable, just not to as large of an extent as that of the difference between a lightweight and a heavyweight. This next graph that we're looking at shows the overlap just among the 5 coin boxers that are available in this pipe, and the clear winner is Gold Koopa free running. Of the 16 assumed tracks that Gold Koopa has, 14 of them present unique course coverage out of these 5 coin box drivers, which is really remarkable. Granted, Gold Koopa is a lightweight coin box driver, but his value is very strong in terms of unique coverage. So while it is not the maximum potential for coin gain when using Coinbox, his access on a number of these tracks is still very much needed and desired for your account. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I would consider Gold Koopa in a category of his own here. And we can see that most of the other ones have extensive overlap. The one exception being King Boo Gold, who is respectable in terms of the overlap, at least among these 5 that you can obtain in the pipe. But when we're looking at the ecosystem of Mario Kart, it isn't strictly limited to just these 5 coin boxers, right? It's Coinbox dominates the entire scene of Mario Kart Tour. And as such, let's take all coin boxers into account. And even still, we see that Gold Koopa Free Running is still a champion here. Only 44% of his tracks overlap with all of the coin box drivers that are out there. So he is one of the few that has greater than 50% unique course coverage among all of them. And that is speaking volumes, because a majority of them have 70% or greater overlap with each of the other coin boxers at level 6 or greater. And that's particularly true with King Bob-omb Gold. Now, this is one thing that I really want to draw emphasis to, in a way how Nintendo and the Mario Kart Tour development team balance out the game, and perhaps they could be even looking at our player trends and data in informing their pathway for doing this. And that is that since King Bob-omb Gold's release back in April, we've had the addition of 2 new coin box drivers. We have Tuxedo Mario and we have Kamek. Tuxedo Mario isn't a factor in the equation for this pipe, but Kamek is. And since those 2 coin boxers have been released, the amount of overlap that King Bob-omb Gold has had is nearly doubled. And so much so to the point where, of the 19 assumed value courses that he has access to, 17 of which are not uniquely covered. Only 2 of them, it's hiding underneath his crown over there in the graph. It was very hard to show the line, while also projecting the size of his massive hitbox. And that is alarming, to say the least, because many players are heavily invested into King Bob-omb Gold. And his value was enormous. One of the all-time top drivers upon his release, the amount of ranked tracks he got, and not just in the first tour, but in the first 2 months, it was really groundbreaking what he presented to the accounts of the players that obtained him. And you're not going to see that kind of value if you're just pulling for King Bob-omb Gold now. That kind of value won't exist for your account. It's not going to happen. That is long ago in the past. And the other thing to consider is Kamek, who has still less than 70% coin box overlap. He's currently sitting only at 2/3, exactly 67% of overlap among coin box drivers. Now, I always provide a full perspective of things for the ecosystem of the game on the channel. And all of that being said, that does not mean that King Bob-omb Gold is not a good driver. Just because it only has 2 unique coverages for assumed value courses doesn't mean it's not one that you shouldn't be investing into. Perhaps it is still the most vital one to invest into. And that's because the overall composition of his courses is incredibly strong. So if there is a single one that you were to invest into, that is still a very good decision to make. But what that will do, in terms of full disclosure, is considering that the amount of overlap is so extensive, that will reduce the return of investment on your tickets that you spend either into King Bob-omb Gold or into the other coin box drivers that you are leveling up that share the courses with King Bob-omb Gold. So there's a few different perspectives that you can take away from this. And the one is that if you're just starting to make investments now, King Bob-omb Gold is still a great one to make, but beware of the other coin boxers that you are investing into. If you're investing into all of them, then you will see that massive decline in return on investment per ticket spent. But what you can do is you can identify coin box drivers that don't present a significant amount of overlap with King Bob-omb Gold, such as Santa Bowser, and pair your investments accordingly so that you can still get maximum value out of each of your coin box investments, and that you just won't be invested into all of them in a broad spectrum. Alternatively, at this stage of the game where you're saying, look, you know, King Bob-omb's value peaked in the past and there will be a new coin box driver on the horizon, many players anticipate that will happen in the next month or so. So what you may say is there will be a new shiny object that Nintendo will want us to invest into, and Instead, choose to invest into the Coinbox drivers that present more unique course coverage value, and then be lying in wait for when that next new Coinbox driver comes in, and invest heavily into that, because you know that you only get peak value on these drivers when they debut and in the first 2 months of their lifespan, and then they depreciate over time. So if you want to get the maximum bang for your buck, so to speak, the goal is to obtain and invest into these things early as opposed to late. And that is the caution that I will provide when considering going in on this pipe, because the odds are not good. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment here. So just to keep in mind, find and identify where your place is in the ecosystem of the game. And nothing is one size fits all. I just present the data and a few perspectives that might relate to various player kinds that are out there. But the amount of options that are out there are virtually limitless. So I never tell you what to do. We only provide the information so that you can make the best decision possible for your own situation. Now let's take a look at the exact details of the pipe, because these things matter, especially for the various strategies that you may want to implement for this pipe. So without further ado, these are the 5 coin boxers. We've gone into considerable detail with all of them. None of them are spotlights. So this is the classic bottomless pit that I warn about. And if we look at the details, there are only 3 high ends. So it's 6% odds, given that it is a 50 pipe. And this is not a pipe that you want to go into if you're looking to level up these drivers. And that makes sense because, from Nintendo's perspective, that is, because any of the pay-to-win players that are out there already have these items, and likely at level 6 and level 7, double and triple capped. So this pipe presents very little value for the pay-to-win players that are out there. It's more of a new player or perhaps a returning player pipe, where the odds are not tremendous, but they give you access to these very powerful drivers, and perhaps some that you may have missed, particularly Kamek. I'm going to focus on Kamek with this one, since this is the first time he's returned. Many of you were hoping to see that he would become a standard high-end. I think he will become a standard high-end, but Nintendo has to make some dough first, right? And they're going to do it through these non-guaranteed, non-spotlight pipes, and they're going to try to milk the player base as much as possible. So do be warned, and proceed with caution. So let's say if Kamek is your goal in this pipe, what are your odds for obtaining him in a single drain? As always, my disclaimer here is that I calculate these odds based on the minimum likelihood that you are to obtain them. So these could be all the way at the very bottom of the pipe, and these are the odds that I present here. I don't present the situation where if you do a 10 fire, and you obtain a high end in your first pull, you're going to want to reset, and then your odds become greater than what I'm forecasting here. So these are the minimum odds. It can't get worse than this, and I like to view that as such for this, because anytime you go into the pipe, you want to know precisely what the maximum loss capacity is for your account. And another thing that I would do too, although not quite relevant in this pipe, is set a loss cap whenever you go into a pipe that doesn't have a spotlight, because once you get a head of steam going, hit a few gold pipes, that's part of the psychological predatory nature of the pipe, and it feels good, and you just keep going until you've spent more than you want to. So be very cautious in the pipe in all aspects. So now, what would your odds be to obtain Kamek in a single drain? So we would start off with 1 minus, and 4 of the 5 high-end drivers in this pipe are not Kamek. So we would do 4 divided by 5, and then we would raise it to the exponent 3. Since there are 3 high-ends in this pipe, that's what that number represents. And we can see here that your odds for obtaining Kamek in a single drain of this pipe would only be 48.8%. That's not very good. So if you are looking to go into this pipe just to obtain Kamek, I wouldn't bank on it with a single drain of the pipe. Now, certainly there will be players out there who do this and who obtain Kamek. Congratulations if you do. But look, this is statistics, okay? So if we have a room of 100 people, over the long run, on average, more than half of them would not obtain Kamek in the 225 rubies needed to drain this 50 pipe. So beware, folks. But now you might be saying, okay, I have more rubies stashed than just a single drain of the pipe. What would happen if I drain it twice, right? If I do 10 pulls of the pipe, just as if it were 100 pipe, what would my odds be then? Well, that's a very good question. So we would see here, we have the same 4 divided by 5. And then we would raise the exponent to 6 in this case, if we were draining it twice. Now, keep in mind, again, if you hit a high end on your first pull, you would reset. But this is the worst case scenario where the high ends are at the bottom of the pipe, which is just as statistically likely as if they are at the beginning of the pipe. We can see that the odds then of obtaining Kamek in 2 drains of the pipe, 450 rubies, folks, is 73.8%. This is why when I come on and do should you polls and talk about the value of your resources, I advocate for polls on these Spotlight 100 pipes. And that's because you can spend 450 rubies in this pipe and not even have a 3/4 chance to obtain Kamek, compared to spending that 450 rubies in the Spotlight pipe, in which case you are 100% to obtain Kamek, as well as the other Spotlight items, the cart and glider that are paired, that will assume similar composition of course value as they are buffed. So there are many reasons why these Spotlight 100 pipes are desirable to go into. This is one such example of that. So certainly it would probably take 3 drains of the pipe to obtain odds that are palatable to a great majority of you out there. Let's just check out 3 drains of the pipe. So yes, here we are 86.6% to obtain Kamek, but now we're already at 675 rubies, extremely dangerous considering that Kamek will likely become a standard high-end, I would say, in the next 12 months. We'll put a long time span on that. Perhaps around the 6 to 8 month mark, we may see Kamek once he is in a pack, perhaps another pipe, and has a chance to generate Nintendo revenue. Only after that point will he likely become a standard high-end. And then otherwise, it's very risky to go into the pipe for him here. And remember the situation that we had for Nabbit, right? Nabbit originally came out in that scam, the Unlucky 7 pipe, right? Where many players had to spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of rubies in order to obtain Nabbit, for him only to be released in a single $40 pack, and then eventually as a Spotlight in a 50 pipe and a standard high-end as well. So granted, the value of Kamek will likely be strong in the coming tours given the lack of his Spotlight characteristic in this pipe. That's the way that they proceed forward with these things. But will the value of Kamek enhance your account to offset the potentially hundreds of rubies that you would need to spend in order to obtain him? Absolutely not, folks. So only do this if for some reason you didn't hear about Kamek and Kamek was somehow your most desired driver in the game. So otherwise, please do be careful. Now, should you pull on this pipe, right? That is the chief question here. And that ultimately depends on the kind of player that you are. Pay to win, you're probably not even paying much attention to this video, maybe just the beginning analysis on the value of these drivers and the ecosystem at large. But if you are a new or returning player, I would certainly recommend that this is a pipe to go in on, but not to target a specific driver, because we can see what happens there. Actually, we can swing it back over to the calculator just to illustrate this point. And let's say if you only have one of the high-end drivers, then what would your odds be of obtaining a new driver? So here we do 4 divided by, well, actually, no. In this case, we wouldn't be doing that. We would be doing 1 divided by 5. And we'll set that to the exponent 3 for a single drain of the pipe, and we can see that we'd be 99.2% in order to get a new high end with a single drain of this pipe, and very likely you would be over 90% to get multiple new drivers in this pipe. So that illustrates the difference in perspective that you have out there, and that's why I do go through the time and show you how to do this math, so that in time you can be comfortable in doing this kind of calculation for yourself and then determining where you stand on things, because I can't go through exhaustively all the situations for all the different player kinds that are out there. So definitely this is a pipe that you may want to be pulling on, but I would strongly caution against it for a great majority of players, particularly if you have 3 or more of these coin boxers. This isn't the pipe for you. There's certainly going to be stronger pipes in the future. So with that out of the way, let's go into, well, actually, since I didn't have a tour reaction, let's do the pipe pulls for Holiday Pipe 1. I have been saving them. 9 high ends in this pipe. I'll just go into a should you pull here. Santa Bowser, this is your one chance to obtain him. We probably won't see him in a pipe again for another 12 months. So if you really want Santa Bowser, this is a much better pipe to go into than the gold pipe, the coin box pipe rather. In terms of the value of these items, Santa Bowser is really the one that you want to get if you don't have him. The other ones are pedestrian to average at best. So, but that one thing is enough to move your rubies to obtain it. So I don't have him, but I want to have him for my account. He actually has significant overlap with the Kongs, particularly Dixie Kong. So I will not be going into this pipe for Santa Bowser, except to do these freebies with you right now. First one up, we have a green pipe. And it is a super, very nice red Koopa free running. The lesser effective little brother of gold Koopa free running, who is in that coin box pipe. Second freebie, also green. Baby Peach, shout out to Justin. All right, so now that we got the freebies out of the way, let's do the Mega Boss Challenge. Let's go in with the multiplayer option. We're going to go with Green Shy Guy. We'll put him in the Rambi. And then I will go with a... well, since it is the Mega Boss, I suppose I should go with a Red Shell option, right? Yeah, we'll go with the Heart Balloons. Oh, wait, I have it on 100cc. I need to switch that. Otherwise, I will not get all the grand stars. There's a Red Shell Glider. All right. So how are you all enjoying the holiday tour so far? I have to say, it's been pretty nice. I do like this first week's ranked mode. I have a lot of good items in play, given that it is the Donkey Kong Cup. The first time that Donkey Kong's been featured in quite a while. So it looks like I will be able to finish in the top 3 for ranked mode this week, which is nice. I haven't really been investing much time into ranked mode, virtually 0 time actually, over the last several tours. And even given my good position right now, I've only spent about an hour on ranked mode just doing a few leisurely runs, and actually managed to get some good frenzy luck in that time, which is always a nice outcome to have. So hopefully there isn't a situation where I have to grind very heavy for that placement, because I'm in a spot where I'm really not going to be pulling on the pipe until they do bring in a new Kong driver, and as such the value of rubies is largely non-existent on my account right now. The difference between first and second place in ranked mode is, around 1% of my total rubies amount. So that's my perspective with things now. One thing that I should share here, given that we are going into the all clear pipe, there are 4 new items in the standard high-end pools, which can be obtained through this all clear pipe. We have Peach Wintertime, brand new standard high-end driver. So that's nice to see. Pretty nice looking alt too. And then we have the black toe beans, the glider, one of the top gliders in the game. So now we have the black great sail, which I don't have, as well as the black toe beans. Did I not clear another challenge? Maybe I didn't. Yes, okay. Oh, I didn't race Merry Mountain RT. I guess I was saving that for the reaction. All right, Merry Mountain RT. I do not have a top shelf driver for this, so let's actually go with bottom shelf. Let's go with Dixie Kong on this one, right? And we'll go with the Ramby Runner. Why not? And then we'll use the Dream Glider, which is in the top shelf. So Dream Glider is still coming in good, which is very nice to see. And that highlights the importance of going into these pipes when they do have the 100 spotlight carts and gliders that go along with them. So that way you can grow the value of your account more equitably than perhaps some of these special pipes, which can get you into some poor odd situations, as well as not stacking up the coverage that you may be needing elsewhere. So here we go. Pretty similar to the R version, but there are a few extra dash panels there, so it is a little bit nicer for keeping combo. Like this is a spot right there where I would drop combo commonly. Oh, cool. So we have a ramp here, extra jump boost. I guess I'll take each path. So on the first lap, I'll take the downward path. And they added 2 jump boosts, nothing significant done there. We have a couple jump boosts here. So yeah, it's a nice ride, but nothing transformative have they done with the RT variant. But I wouldn't say that there's anything in here that's not enjoyable. If anything, it might just be a little bit more pleasant for those of you that have lesser loadouts in order to maintain combo, although I did drop there by touching the invisible wall instead of pulling off that mini turbo. Let's take the top ramp here and see what's going on. So this is different. Normally there's just like a little access way here. So there are still 2 jump boosts. I don't really see much that's different there. So I would say the significant difference is through that bottom trail in terms of what they've done with the course layout. So 13K, that should be enough for the Grand Stars. And now we should be getting the all clear pipe. All cups cleared, congrats. Very nice image that they used for both the tour and this screen here. So let's see who I've been racing with. Definitely Blue Koopa with that T-Coop item that I picked up in the tier shop. It was brand new super for me, so I've been getting the base points up on it. And then we have just a bunch of multiplayer options. There's Diddy Kong. And most race driver, of course it's Dixie Kong. She is my main after all on the multiplayer. So here we go. Would be really nice to see one of the new items, but I've had good luck with new items, so let's just see what it is. Pretty much anything is good at this point. Okay, the Manta Glider, which has been in a number of glider pipes that I have passed up on. That should provide a pretty good amount of coverage for my account, so that's a pretty good pull to have. I hope all of you out there have equally good luck on your all clear pipes, and that if you are going into either the gold pipe or the week 1 pipe, oh, what do we have? Challenge cleared. Oh yes, okay, so this is where we get the extra rewards. So certainly I wish you all good luck if you are risking your own rubies in any of these pipes. Certainly if you're going into the week 1 pipe, have that guarantee of the 450 rubies, and then any situation, even if you have to go all the way to the bottom, you have a guaranteed outcome. You're going to get 9 high ends, you're going to get the Santa Bowser. It's a good outcome, even if you have to go deep for it. So, and then of course all the other outcomes are good if you obtain those items that you want earlier in the pipe. But certainly you will need the luck if you are going in for Kamek or some of the other Coinbox drivers in that non-spotlight pipe. So do be careful, everyone out there. If you like this content, if you'd like to see more of this kind of content brought to you for Mario Kart Tour, please do subscribe to the channel. I am working to get to the partnership with YouTube, and then I can share more engaging and robust content right here on the channel. Your support means the world, and all of the well wishes are incredibly encouraging, and I can't thank you all enough for that. So I wish you all the best, and enjoy the rest of the holiday tour. See you soon. Take care.